I'm here today to help bring you some peace. Let's talk about a way of scheduling our life to put structure into our life right now amid the chaos. Hey guys, Laura here from What Laura Likes. If you are returning, thanks for coming back. And if you are new, please subscribe and like this video. If you do, this is actually the beginning of a homeschooling series, but this video in particular will help anybody, whether they are homeschooling or not, because it is all about block scheduling. So all of this stems from reading the book, A Mother's Rule of Life. So a rule of life is what they do in monasteries and convents where they have, a flow to their day. At 2 o'clock is prayer, at 4 o'clock is this, and those kinds of things. And Father Ripperger has a very beautiful video on having a rule for prayer. And that is the first P in her 5 Ps is prayer. And so you're going to see in a minute my rule, my schedule, going forward. I'm sure it's going to need some tweaks, but all the prayer is going to be highlighted in pink because that was the first thing I kind of plugged into my day after filling in the basics, like when we're waking up and when we're eating. And then I weaved in the Fly Lady system, when I'm going to tackle those things, playing with my kids, homeschooling, and all that. So if you are interested in seeing how I'm hoping to structure my day going forward as a way of inspiring you to perhaps think through your day in these next few weeks of uncertainty, then stay tuned. Okay, so here we are at my newly made schedule. And what I did first was, just like in A Mother's Rule of Life, I put my name up here as well as the children's names, because you're going to want to individualize it, at least for yourself and your kids, because you're not doing the same thing all day, especially when it comes to prayer and housework and things like that. And then I started at 6 because that's just a reasonable wake up time for me right now. And then I went all the way down to 9:30 because that is my goal, is to be lights out at 9:30. Okay, so let's go through and talk about kind of how I did this. So the first thing I did was put in when I want to wake up. And now you guys know I do the Fly Lady system, and the morning routine only takes 30 minutes. That's the goal. I shower at night. And so the first thing I did is that while the kids are sleeping, because they sleep till at least 7 these days, I'm going to wake up and do my morning routine, get dressed, make the bed, swish and swipe the toilet, put on makeup, do my hair, clean up my bathroom, and then it still gives me some time for some quiet prayer time. Now, I do pray with the kids here during the start of our school day, so this is going to be more like reflective time, maybe doing the daily readings, and doing some meditation, that kind of stuff, Catholic meditation. And then at 7 o'clock, when they wake up, they're going to start their morning routine. They get dressed in the morning right away. They brush their teeth. They make their beds. They put their clothes away before coming down for breakfast. And so I have about 30 minutes here to start some laundry and to do zone work. Zone work takes 15 minutes if you're decluttering and 10 minutes if you're not. So I should be able to get that done in this frame of time as well, because starting laundry takes 5 minutes maybe if you're sorting. Zone work 10 to 15 minutes. That still leaves 10 minutes to get breakfast ready. Now, right now, currently, my parish is offering a live mass broadcast at 7:30, which is usually the daily mass time. And so we're going to eat breakfast while watching mass. This is just for daily mass. This does not include Sunday mass, when we will get dressed and treat ourselves like we're at mass. But I figure it's better than not watching mass at all. And so we're going to do breakfast in the living room and watch mass. And we do definitely act devout during the time of the consecration, as well as the time for adoration. And then we say a spiritual communion here. After mass and breakfast is done, then we have 30 minutes of chores and tidying. So Chloe's chores include vacuuming the downstairs, helping with dishes, and scooping the litter box. And Neil here will, pick up his toys, or maybe help tidy if anything's left out. Or maybe he'll just get to play. Or maybe he'll help me with some kind of chore here. In this time, I can tackle some of the weekly tasks from the Fly Lady system. And so things like my weekly home blessing hour, desk day, meal planning, budgeting, all those kinds of things can happen in this hour as well. And so it's just going to be time for me to kind of get some independent work done. We just did mass with breakfast. And so we're all kind of doing our work before school starts, and then the kids do get some time to play together here before school starts. School's going to start at 9. That's just a good time for us to start. I feel like everyone's sufficiently woken up by then and they're ready to do some learning. I find 9 to 11 to be really peak hours for my kids in terms of learning. So what we do in the first 30 minutes are going to be our morning time, our morning basket. We do almost all subjects together. And so I will make a separate video where I really talk about this 9 to 11 block and what we do in it. But for now, I'm just going to show you this brief overview because I want to talk about how I kind of lay my day out. And so we do always start with morning prayer. Now we have just prayed Mass, so our morning prayer might have to be altered, but normally we do Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory be, Angel of God, St. Michael the Archangel, morning offering, and I think that's it, but there may be another one. And then I usually do like an ad lib prayer, just asking Jesus to give us, some things we may need for the school day, like patience, fortitude, those kind of things. And then like I said, I'll tell you what I do in my morning time in another video. At 9:30, we're going to break out into individual work. So I'm going to work with Neil. This is when we do phonics and math. And Chloe's going to do her individual work. And then this is Neil's column, so he works with me. And then at 10, we're going to take a snack break for 15 minutes. And then for this 45-minute block, I'm going to work with Chloe. And then Neil's going to do independent work. A lot of times, this means he's doing Starfall on his iPad. It's not ideal for him to do it. I usually don't let him do it for the full 45 minutes. I'll set a timer for maybe 20 minutes. He really enjoys it and he does learn, but I try to stay away from screens in this time. So if you have good independent work for 6-year-olds who don't like book work, let me know. At 11, that's when we're done. Ideally, the kids will go play for an hour outside before lunchtime. Well, I take a break. I'm not sure what this is going to look like, but it's going to look like something. And then lunch prep. At noon, we're going to pray the Angelus. We haven't started this yet, but I'm really excited. All the prayer, if you haven't noticed, is in pink. And then we'll eat our lunch. And then tidy up after lunch. This is another clutter check. And I'm going to try to squeeze in a walk. This right here may have to be adjusted a bit because I figure the walk usually takes about 30 minutes. And I don't think, obviously, there's not enough time in this prep unless we maybe push lunch to more like 11:30, which we could also do. So I'm giving myself some leeway here. Okay, from 1 to 3 is either errands or independent time. And I got this idea from JDA. If you guys have little ones and you haven't checked out JDA, especially if you are kind of thrust into the homeschooling realm, well, with little ones, usually they're not, unless they're in preschool, I guess. But she has lots of really great early learning, and she homeschools her kids. They're, I think, 4th or 5th down to baby. So she just has lots of really great ideas, but she does take this really large block of time. And I used to only take an hour. And after watching her really contemplating and praying about it, I decided to take a full 2 hours to myself, except for when we have errands, which right now is not much, right? And so this is when I can edit on YouTube, do some spiritual reading, because I have so many goals of books I need to be reading, but I just haven't found a time to put them in, as well as maybe some planning time, whether it's homeschool planning, life planning, meal planning. That can happen in this block as well. Also, if it's desk day, this is going to have to be devoted to desk day a bit because desk day takes quite a bit of time in the Fly system. At least I hear it gets easier. But and then the kids will either be doing errands or quiet time. And this is a time where I really encourage them to take time for themselves. And 2 hours might seem like a long time, but I think it's really good for kids to be able to find things to do on their own. And it's worth maybe making a list of the different options that they have, whether you want them to get art out or maybe not at this time, because it's not supposed to be a time where they're really interacting with you. At 3 o'clock, I really like praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet along with Relevant Radio, and this is a good time for them to get snacks because usually what I'm doing is praying the Divine Mercy Chaplet as well as cleaning up in the kitchen, and so it's easy for me to get them some snacks at this time as well. At 3:30 to 4, I've started this play with mom time. I really, really want to take time every day to hang out with my kids. Like, that's why we have kids, and it just wasn't happening. And so what I did is I stuck this 3:30 to 4 in right before we all pray the rosary together. And I made this list yesterday of quiet activities with mom, energy activities. This has to do with mom's energy, or outdoors. Like if I'm not having allergy issues and it's nice out, then these are some options as well. It kind of has to do with energy though. But I really like this quiet group here. You know, art, drawing, board games, stories, Legos building, and cards. Yesterday we played Sorry, and Chloe picked that. So today we're going to choose something. And I do set a timer so that, you know, when it's up, because then we need to really start our rosary. So we come upstairs and we pray the rosary together. We did this yesterday. It was really nice. And you know, my kids are 9 and 6. They are totally capable of praying the entire rosary. If you have littler ones, I would suggest keeping them in the room with you and just bringing some little quiet toys for them to play, because I think hearing the rosary all the way through is really important. And then this is going to be, again, some more outside time. It's so hard right now because we have a park across the street, and I'm trying to keep them away from other kids and away from the playground equipment, just to really respect this whole social, like physical social distancing. It's really rough. So I'm asking them to play out back a lot. And this is when I would be preparing dinner. Dinner's at 5:30, and then our third clutter check tidy up is going to be from 6 to 6:30. They do help me in the kitchen now, which is awesome. And then they can pick up their rooms if anything's been left out, pick their clothes out for tomorrow. At 6:30, I have bath time. Usually they alternate bath nights, and then I'm going to actually try to exercise Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays during this time. If not, then I can prep for tomorrow, look at my planner, anything that needs to get done, kind of finish up here. And then my goal is, while they're doing their evening snack and brushing teeth, I'm doing my shower and evening routine, at least on the exercise days. Because if I can get this done before they're in bed, then I get this whole hour block here, you know, without having to worry about getting my shower in and things. Okay, so after that, then we do, you know, we started doing gratitude, we have our family prayer, and we have a family story. Right now we're reading By the Lakes of Silver Shore. So it's one of the Little House on the Prairie books. And then Their Lights Out is at 8. And then sometimes I'll let them read for a little bit. And then, like I said, I have this hour. My goal is to not be in the kitchen or putting away laundry or doing anything after this time. Sometimes it hasn't really happened yet, but that's my goal. And then at 9 o'clock, I want to be in bed reading. I really, really enjoy reading. I read the Bible at this point. I'm reading Little Men. And then lights out. So this is a weekday schedule. I haven't accounted for Ryan, obviously, because it's just my schedule and the kids. And so I could break this down even further. And, you know, obviously, like, this here is where we hang out, and it can be adjusted a bit. So there you go. So that's this schedule. I'm going to flip the camera back around, and I'll talk to you guys on the other side. Hey guys, so I hope that was helpful. Let me know down below if you are in a place where you are feeling like you need more structure, or if you already have a pretty good rhythm to your day. Have you ever thought about breaking out your schedule like that with the kids listed out? I think with having school-aged kids and little kids, it could be really, really helpful, especially when things like you can plug naps in for the individual children, or, you know, those kinds of things. So let me know down below, and I will work on, coming up next, that video of how a typical homeschool day goes. I probably won't do a day in the life yet, because those are a little bit hard to film, and I just want to get the information out there for those of you who are curious about how I've been homeschooling. I know I've been getting some questions lately just from homeschooling moms in general, and so I want to get that information out there for you guys, because really there aren't a lot of Catholic homeschoolers out there on YouTube. There are tons of them out there in the real world, but not a lot on YouTube. And so I think it is helpful, at least I find it helpful, to pour over different ways people have broken out their homeschool, resources they use, to kind of get an idea, one, that every single homeschool is different, but also, you know, that there's like a rhythm, and that every household's homeschool looks different and has a unique rhythm. And so the more you are able to kind of look at different ways to set yours up, then the more you kind of get an idea of what will work for your own family. So with that, you guys, God bless. Have a very beautiful day. Do not lose hope. Trust the Lord. I know the world's kind of crazy right now. I think it's kind of crazy too, but we have to just continue to have hope and to pray. And I hope that you are all growing closer to the Lord right now, because I think that's what this is all about. God bless. See you soon. Bye.